How's it going, everybody? This is James. Kind of doing an impromptu episode of Recollection, mainly because AJ is out of town. He went to the major Flesh of Blood event in Baltimore with a large group from our local play group. But we've had so much going on with Grand Archive this week, especially with the launch that happened on Friday. So just wanted to go over a few things. Just wanted to chat a bit. So on Thursday, we had our usual local group. We were all very excited to get product the very next day. And something that was very interesting about the locals for Thursday was we had, I believe it was one Lorraine player, and we had 5 Ryes. It was 5 or 6 Ryes. Some of the Ryes had the same build, but others were varied a bit. We had a Water Rye. We had multiple Fire Ryes doing like the Rhapsody thing, and then we had several Arcane Ryes, including myself. But the interesting thing with the layout of how all the Ryes were is that we all had like kind of different objectives going into our win cons and stuff like that. And we were all kind of trying out different cards that don't normally see play. It was a lot of fun, like Grand Archive always is. But it was comparing everybody's decks and seeing how they turned out, which was like the real core of the fun we were having. I ended up getting second. I know Jesse got first. And the difference between our match, which settled first and second, was I had never played Rye before, and I went first, and I tried, putting some Arcane in my memory and shooting him with a fireball, and he didn't even exist in the game yet. I wasn't used to how Rye does things on turn 1, so I kind of had a card disadvantage because I was basically just casting nothing. And I think, as Grand Archive tends to do, especially with mages, it just took that one extra turn advantage that he had, and he was able to kill me before I was to kill him. But other than that, it was really fun. Really fun. But yeah, no, we had a blast. And then next morning, we opened at noon at the Haven, and you had myself, you had Devin, you had Scott, you had Andrew. We had other customers come in. Everybody was opening cases. Josue bought a case. I know Scott opened 1 starter and got his collector rare. I believe it was, I don't know if it was level 2 or level 3 Rye. I think it was level 3 Rye. So that was exciting. He was like freaking out. And then Josue got the Mordred signature card, which looked fantastic. It was just great seeing everybody so hyped for the release, and everybody cracking product and cards flying all over the place. Everybody excited about every single foil they got. That's something that has been consistent, like ever since we were opening the Kickstarter boxes, is that doesn't matter, you open a pack, and if you happen to see that like foil shimmer in the back, you get very excited. And I've never heard anyone go like, oh, like it's that one, like who cares. Everybody is clinging to as many foils as they can get for their collection. That's something I think that Weebs of the Shore was really hoping would be a thing, that people wouldn't get bored of the foils, because in most other games, you always get a foil, and unless it's like a foil, mythic, legend, ultra rare, whatever, you really don't care. So it was nice to see that. And the starters, we noticed that, myself included, like I bought 3 Rye starters because I needed some power overwhelmings, but I also was hoping to get a signed card. And we are seeing people post and do interesting buying tactics trying to get a signed card, where they buy a whole display case of starters. That's like 9 starters, 3 of each class or character. And they're just mass opening them. To each their own. I mean, that's one way to try to get a signed card. But that must be working out for the devs, because that's just people buying tons of starters, or in most cases people buy 1 or 2 starters for the set, and like they're kind of done. Whereas I'm seeing people buy 9 to 18 starters just in hopes to get the sign card. And then with the open starters, they either sell them at like a huge discount, or they donate it to their local group to get new players in, which it's a good idea. But no, it's just interesting. It's just interesting to see how this game is affecting the path of the consumer, as well as sellers that are getting ready to take advantage of TCG Player, which is going live with this game. They didn't say the exact date. They said May, so everybody's hoping for May 1st. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where the prices fall, especially on foils, because foils are very hard to get, particularly the ones that you're looking for your play sets and everything. But that being said, we sold a ton of boxes, a ton of starters. Sounds like that's going on everywhere. People are trying to get their hands on product, which is leading to a shortage, so to speak. We did find out that all the distributors are out. They're completely out of product, and that is a good thing. That means the game is being successful, but there might be some FOMO and panic that's going to set in. Weaves of the Shore did quickly address on Discord. They were saying that there's a second wave that's already coming, but they didn't say when, and no one's really to blame for that. I'm sure there's a lot of different things that they have to take into consideration with announcing a date. But once it runs out from local stores, that's kind of it. You just have to wait on it, and the people who have sealed boxes, I'm sure the prices are going to go up. The prices of foils are going to go up. So yeah, we're going to see how that plays out. And then we have the second Grand Archive set coming in August, which is roughly 3 months out. So make sure you get your pre-orders in for that. But you know, the devs did say that they're aware of all this going on, and next time I think they're printing even more to meet the demand. And I mean, as someone who loves the game and as a store owner, I'm very happy to see how successful the game's doing. I would also urge stores, because I'm making sure we do it for our store, don't sell out a product and then you have nothing to support your locals. They're going to show up, and playing for store credit can kind of get bored. Hopefully most of the stores also got the promo packs that we got, the gold and silver OP kits, because that's a good incentive to play, but people also want to crack stuff. So other than that, something else I wanted to touch up on was kind of how to consistently get your locals going, showing support for them. This was kind of a hard-fought battle I had to do for a very long time with Final Fantasy, which was my store's main game for my older store for a while. But yeah, the biggest thing is consistency. Try to have a very consistent community. Everybody's always in touch. You can use Discord or whatever means you have to communicate. And a big thing I like to just have is just get to know each other. It doesn't have to be super personal, but like just don't show up. You play your games and then you never hear from them. It's a community for that reason. You want to check in on each other, talk about different builds, different techs you guys are doing, encourage each other, compliment each other on how you're performing. And on the same note as that, something I think every store owner has to deal with, or a community leader has to deal with, is if there is toxicity or people who are being sore losers or even sore winners, just depends. You have to address those things. Something I've seen happen many times is there could be like a group of 18 players. All it takes is one player to consistently make it feel awkward when you play against them, or they talk. Talking trash is one thing, but ruining the gameplay experience is a whole other thing. And it can become toxic and cancerous because that player can cause one player to leave, and because that one player leaves, their friend stops coming, and then that's two people who aren't going, and then other people hear two people aren't going, so then they stop going, and before you know it, the play group is ruined. So it's something to try to root out immediately. Don't be rude about it, but address it head on and try to figure out why they're not happy. If they're unwilling to budge or kind of meet with you, then they're not good for the play group and maybe they need to go elsewhere. But that's something to keep an eye out for. And a play group doesn't have to be 18 people. It could be 4 people. That's all you need to fire an event, get some promos going. That's it. Something that I do with like AJ and some of my other TCG buddies. After you play, you go out to eat. Eating is always fun to do with friends. You go out wherever you guys want, and you can recap the matches you had. You can talk about, I don't know, when you go to Ascent, are you doing Path of Silver or the competitive path? Like, how are you, just all those details. And that's something else that just fuels into the community aspect to, just help you guys get closer. And a huge thing is if people see all you guys getting along and having a great time, that's certainly going to attract more people, as to where if you're playing a game where everyone's just like really negative, or it's just like so competitive that everyone's on edge, people are not going to be drawn to that. So just something to keep in mind if you're looking to get your community growing. Also, I'm on the I was going to bring up the main Discord for Grand Archive. We noticed that in the past few days, ever since the Friday launch, it has exploded. There's been just a ton of people going in there, a ton of new players that are have never seen it before, but they saw product on the shelves, and then they were like, oh, I'm looking for tips on starters. I'm looking, where can I buy this? What's the best deal to do this? How do foils work? It's a great, if you're not in the Discord, make sure you get in there. The devs are in there. There's a lot of helpful community members. There's other new players if you're new, so you guys can get together. You can play matches online. You will not be playing online using like an official client, but you can use like Tabletop Simulator, which is what most people run their events on online. Excuse me. But no, there's like, and of course there's like memes and just a lot of funny stuff on there. There's spoilers that come out occasionally that they let slip on the Discord, which is always fun. So if you're not on there, definitely get on there. It'll just help you get in touch with people who obviously have the same interest as you, which is Grand Archive, and it also helps you find if there are not LGSs listed on the official radar. It's just an easy way to meet up with other players, and it's another aspect of growing your community. So definitely, I can even put the link to the Discord, the channel information. But yeah, definitely check that out. But other than that, we're gonna have another video coming along soon. Just things have been a little, with the Flesh and Blood event going on, people out of town. We had the big release. We also ran a 100-player Final Fantasy TCG regional, so that kind of kept us busy and things. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun, and it was a huge success, especially thanks to all the people that helped out and the support from Rochelle from Square Enix. But things have been a little crazy. But I know I'm looking forward to tomorrow, because we also do Grand Archive locals on Sundays as well as Thursdays at the Haven over in Castleberry, Florida. And then the following Sunday, we're doing Draft, which I've never drafted in Grand Archive before, so that's going to be pretty fun. AJ and I are definitely going to go over that in detail, because I know we're going to do like a mixed draft, which is you draft 3 and you do 3 sealed packs, which I've never heard of in a game before. So that's going to be interesting. I did hear a big thing with Draft is using the lineage break characters, because they're a bit more flexible in a draft setting. So for example, Mordred uses abilities as floating memory. So when you're drafting, you may not have access to all that floating memory. So that's something that can kind of balance the odds in your favor. I would probably avoid going for like a strictly standard build, because you probably just won't have the card pool to like support that sort of thing. Or going for like a level 3 Lorraine with all the regalia, like it's probably just not going to work out the way you think it will. But yeah, we'll have information on how that goes, and yeah, that's about it. It's a shorter video, but I just wanted to yap about Grand Archive because of how excited we are. Only other news, which there's no date confirmed, but the devs did say that probably in a couple of weeks, kind of like in mid-May, there will be another Grand Archive Discord shop thing, like a merch thing going on. It's something they've done a couple of times where for like a week they offer a whole bunch of different amazing looking playmats. They have the desk mat. They do like the different sleeves, and I think it's like for every $30 or $40 you spend, you get a promo pack, which the foils in those promo packs typically go for like $150 to $200 if you're just trying to like make some money back. They're very collectible. People seek them out. So that's something to keep in mind, but it's also a good way to just support the devs and while showing off like the amazing art in the game. So definitely keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. So with that being said, we're gonna do another video following this one, probably in like a few days. So be on the lookout for that. Like, comment, subscribe, all that nonsense. And you guys have a great week.